Hey everybody, happy Monday night. We are so happy to have you with us. If you're live, great to have you. Or if you're watching a recording, we love that too. I am joined today with my very dear friend, Joy Markham, coming to us from Maui. And Joy is going to share testimonial tonight, and she's had an update on these testimonials. Things happen and things get better, and it's fun to keep going on people's healing journey with them. But she is my original person outside of my family, I would say, who had an amazing result with these. And she's the one who really pushed me to start doing a Zoom, put together a PowerPoint. Tracy, you used to be a marketer. You need to communicate this because, as you know, some of you may not know yet, this company is not able to advertise this miraculous product in our country. They can all around the world, but sadly, we have got some limitations in our country in terms of what can and can't be shared in terms of things that are perhaps not approved by the AMA or the medical system. So I am going to go ahead and share my screen with you, and we are going to share what has really changed our lives for the better. And it comes down to utilizing phototherapy, light therapy, to make change in the body. And a lot of you are probably very familiar with every day. For those of you that might live in sunny climates, you get to use phototherapy. When you go out in that sunshine, it is telling your body to make vitamin D. But when we're up here in the Pacific Northwest, we often don't get that signal. So thank goodness for these little miracles that we're going to talk about, these patches. And we're talking about the powerhouse of your body to help you increase energy, focus, boost performance, and elevate, repair, regenerate. And you're going to see some of that tonight. But first, I want to take you back in time a little bit because these two guys right here really had it right, harnessing the power of light for health. And Albert Einstein predicted way back that the future of medicine would be frequency. So, frequency is like sound waves, maybe a radio, Bluetooth, Wi Fi. These patches are no different. It's a frequency with the body. Thomas Edison said that the future of a doctor's role really should be more focused on looking at the cause and the prevention as opposed to just always admitting pills. So, what we're talking about tonight is um, not just talking about looking at medicine and treating illness. We are talking about unlocking the body's innate ability to heal itself. The body is a pretty amazing machine, very complicated, very complex, but it has the ability to course correct when things start to go awry, thankfully. And we have a medical disclaimer. I just want to let you know that we are not medical professionals, and Joy nor I will be diagnosing or treating, giving advice tonight. We're going to always want you to work with your medical professional and whatever you might be dealing with. And these products we're talking about tonight are classified by the FDA as a wellness device. And the content shared here is just for informational purposes only. If you'd like to learn something more in depth or particular area, please go to harmonypatching.com. That is our website to help you learn how to use these, how to get the most out of them. But practitioners have been using light therapy for years. You've probably heard of red light therapy, laser light therapy, infrared saunas, MRIs. These are all ways in which external light is making change in the body. Now, these are synthetic varieties because they need electrical cords and they have limitations. And they do have some risk. Used incorrectly, they can be problematic. But what we're talking about tonight is all natural. We'll get more into that, but I want to share with you why this company would study stem cells for 10 years. And it comes down to one central issue that the older we get, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And that really comes down to how many active stem cells you have in your body. And when you're age 30, you might think you're pretty young, especially when you're my age looking back. But really, at age 30, our body has lost about half of those stem cells. Those are the cells that repair, they prevent, they course correct. And when we're age 60, we're down to less than 10% of them. And when we're in the 80s, we are down to about 2 to 3%. So that is why a lot of disease is really tied to age. But with the invention that this company's come up with, you're going to see you can change that curve right there. You don't have to follow Mother Nature's curve. We don't have to deal with all the aches and the pains and the lack of energy or the slow recovery, the gray hair, the lines, the wrinkles, the reduction in sleep. That was a big one for me. The reduced memory and mental clarity. We're going to talk a lot about that tonight. Weight gain, increased inflammation, those things can become things of your past when you see what we're talking about. So, what we're talking about is how to change the trajectory of your aging. We're talking about a wearable light technology that helps to elevate, activate, and repair. It's patented. This company has over 200 patents in age reversal technology, and this is the only company in the world you can get this product from. We have a great video. I'm going to let you take a listen. It's 2 minutes, but they explain this well and they show you where we place this on the body. So take a listen.
An empowered life has no expiration date. We're all created to do incredible things, like conquer summits, catch big waves, live our passions. As time goes on, our bodies begin to show signs that things just aren't as they used to be. Our energy levels decline, sleep patterns shift, and recovery slows. But our bodies are masterpieces of design, holding the potential to bounce back better than ever. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and regenerative science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHKCU, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, which requires external light sources, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality, enhancing the body's flow of natural energy for improvements in strength, stamina, performance, and overall health and well-being, with the simplicity of an affordable, non-invasive, non-transdermal patch. As we age, levels of these life-enhancing elements, which are associated with wellness and longevity, begin to decline. LifeWave invested 10 years into stem cell research, which resulted in over 70 patents. X39 was born to bring to the public a product that can support wellness in an entirely new way, supporting the production of younger, healthier cells with wearable light technology. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. Harness your body's natural potential to maintain youthful energy and vitality, because life comes at you fast, but it doesn't have to pass you by. Live long, live well, live young. Be the light with LifeWave X39. LifeWave.
They did such a nice job on that video. I just love it. Can't quite see myself doing the paragliding or anything, but sure is good stuff. But what we're talking about tonight has really been known as the secret sauce for a lot of athletes. This was originally created for the United States Navy SEALs 20 years ago in San Diego. Crazy that we've had something so powerful in our own country and no one's known about it. But Michael Phelps was the first celebrity athlete to really put this company on the map. And you might remember some controversy in Beijing when he swept all the medals and some people thought he was doping. It was proven there was no doping because nothing is entering the body or the bloodstream with these patches. It's a reflection of light. But look at all these other fantastic athletes. But history was made in 2019 when X39, the patch that activates for the first time ever in the history of this world, your own dormant repair cells. And it was in collaboration with a university in Ireland where this phase of this company came to life. My neighbors just came back from Ireland and they were telling me there's billboards all over. It's all they talk about over there is these stem cells, and I just made me smile. It's sad in our country that we don't get to talk about them. We have a different structure of our medical system. Over there, it's socialized medicine. That government wants people to be healthy. Our government, not so much. I think maybe they're starting to make some strides and change some things up. But you can see here all the great things that happen when you activate your own repair cells: mental clarity, age reversal, skin enhancement, energy, pain relief, reduction of inflammation. That is a game changer. What I love the most, though, is there are no drugs, no chemicals, no stimulants. So you're not having to be concerned with what drug interactions you might experience. You can utilize these. We want you, of course, working with your doctors. No side effects. And again, 200 US patents on age reversal. We have a really good website resource called startx39now.com as well. Our friend Marcy Preble has put this one together, and you'll get to see Marcy in a minute. My favorite section, and for somebody who really wants to understand how, why, how can this even be possible? Because I know it sounds too good to be true. It took my husband and I, I'm telling you, 6 months before he really believed it. We were both, he got out of pain from a spinal fusion surgery that did not repair well. And my brain came back from the most horrific menopause of anybody I know. I really thought I had Alzheimer's. But we just had a hard time believing it. And then, thankfully, this website came along and we could start researching it and learning. My favorite section here is this age reversal with GHK copper peptide. Copper peptide is a fountain of youth, and it does a lot of great things. It's discovered 50 years ago. But they've done a number of studies, a lot of studies all around the world. They are not company done in-house. These are independent third-party studies. And they looked cardiovascular wise after 6 weeks of wearing X39. The participants lowered their cardiovascular age on average 8 weeks. So what's that saying is for every day you wear the X39, your cardiovascular system is acting a day and a third younger. There's nothing on this planet that does that. They did a spectacular brain health study, and they had a number of participants, all different ages, different backgrounds, and they looked at their brains. And what we're seeing here is session one is baseline before utilizing any patches. We're looking down on the brain. This is a heat mapping EEG device. This happens to be a 77-year-old woman with dementia. Where you see orange and red, that's inflammation in her
Grace,
brain.
we're not seeing your screen.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Uh-oh.
We're seeing your beautiful face.
Oh, dear.
I could see it.
Oh, you can see your
You
screen?
see it?
I could see
It's
your
gone
screen.
now, right?
It's
Yeah.
gone.
Okay,
now.
took
Yeah,
it away. And now, okay, are you seeing it now?
I
Yes.
see it.
Yep.
Perfect.
Oh, thank you. Good, good. I'm so sorry. Let me zip back here really quickly then. If you guys missed that, must have been after that video. It did something a little different.
I could
But
see the whole.
these are our athletes that have been utilizing them, and there's many, many, many. They just don't all talk about their secret sauce, right? This is their secret weapon. These are the many things that help the body to respond and have just a better health life. This is a fantastic website to really dive in and learn a lot about the science. All of this information is also on that Harmony patching website as well. This age reversal tab is my favorite with the GHK copper peptide. That's the fountain of youth. This is the cardiovascular study. After 6 weeks, these cardiovascular systems biologically looking at biomarkers, blood pressure, blood flow, different levels of oxygen, nutrients in the system, they were about 8 weeks younger. That's pretty remarkable. So this is bringing us up to speed. So baseline in session one is showing you inflammation and what that looks like in the brain. That is a hot brain. That is a slow brain. That is allowing the cognition to not come through as clearly as it should, and it did when we were younger, or maybe before trauma, concussion, an accident. There's many different reasons that can trigger that inflammation in the brain. But for this 77-year-old woman, she is having a slower blood flow with that inflammation. Think of swelling in the brain. It's putting pressure on those blood vessels. It's a slower blood flow, and that's not healthy. But her first check-in during this clinical trial is session two. So that's 3 weeks of wearing just the X39. Just so you know, these were the very first studies. We have since figured out how to accelerate these results and make them even better. Explain that more in a few minutes. But look at how that hot brain becomes a cold brain. This is the body doing it. The patch is only a signaling tool, remind you, like the sunlight hitting skin. It's a signal. And the body is working on it. The body is amazing because it knows what it needs to do when it gets the right message and tool. Session 3 is the conclusion of that study in 6 weeks. That is a perfectly balanced brain. The right amount of heat, cold, there's an 80-20 ratio on the two sides of the brain, you can see. So we're looking at a reduction of inflammation, improved memory and focus. And then when you get that memory and focus going, you just have overall cognitive brain function at a different level. And it's that GHK copper peptide helping to support that nerve regeneration. So those neural pathways just start connecting and the neurons start firing better. We hear a lot of people tell us they sleep better, and that is by design. It's really important. And when I get somebody started, I always start them with the X39, the Eon, and the Alavita. Because the Alavita is bringing back a melatonin from the brain. When we are sleeping, that is when the body is purging toxins, and that is when the body is repairing. So if you are an insomniac, or if you are a really light sleeper, or you're up and down using the toilet all night, you are never getting into that deep REM sleep. And that really impairs your body's ability to repair and regenerate. So that's why our number one focus in the beginning for you is we want to get inflammation under control because it eats stem cells, and we want to get you sleeping. That's when you're going to get better. And I just want to show you the difference of good health. So the picture on the left, this lady is young, vital, beautiful. The top image, that's what her beautiful master repair cells look like. That is a full, crisp, clear cell that gives good communication in the body, it does its job, and it promotes youth. But as we age and these beautiful cells start to break down and they are not intact like they used to be, that allows the aging that you see in the right image. The hair starts to turn gray, the skin is sagging, the eyes are shrinking. Everything about this person is just not looking as robust and beautiful, right? And I'll tell you, when you start using these patches, you'll be amazed what comments you start getting because people notice changes. And I had a number of my friends ask me, "Did Eric get you a facelift? What happened to you? What, you're sun worshiper?" And it's just that process. I'm going backwards. I'm regenerating. And my skin has never felt softer. Oh, such a great thing to be super hydrated. But this is our very dear friend, Marcy Preble. And she was waiting in 2019 in her recliner in her home. She'd quit her job. She had 3 types of fast growing cells, and they didn't give her a lot of great hope. It was in the breast, it was in her lymph system, which is really very scary. And it was a very aggressive skin fast growing cell that the doctor told her the other 2 we might be able to get into remission, but that skin one, that unfortunately will be the one that will be your demise. That never goes into remission. But look at this lady. Thankfully, her naturopath gave her 10 of those X39 on day 3. The chemo came out through her mouth. One thing about these patches is we are doing a major detox. We are cleaning house in the body, and that's key to get the body to repair and regenerate. So she then noticed a breakout on her back. The chemo and the metals were coming out, toxins coming out through her back. But on around day 7, day 8, she just had energy and she had hope. And she went back to her naturopath and she said, "We have to tell everyone we know. I know I'm going to kick this. I'm not letting it take me down. I think this is giving me a new leash on life." And lo and behold, it has. And in 2025, this lady is stronger than ever, going like great guns. And she develops a lot of resources for us to help share this with others, that website and a lot of other tools. But what we're talking about here is age reversal. You've heard a lot about anti-aging in the media. You know, everyone's always, "Oh, we want anti-aging cream, this, that, the other." And they have us taking all of these synthetic supplements and peptides. You know what? It's all marketing hype. I hate to tell you. You put a lot of money into these things, and some of them, they never live up to their promise because they can't possibly. The body is smarter than that. You can't fool Mother Nature with those synthetic things. What we're doing here is we are working to support the body at the root cause of whatever you're dealing with at the cellular level. So we get to talk about reversing aging because Grandpa Dude here, and this has become a very dear friend of mine. His name is Dr. John Harmon. He's in Meridian, Idaho. And when Eric, my father-in-law's dad, was diagnosed with rapid onset word loss and memory loss, this is the man I turned to. And he helped me with exactly what patches we'd use, where we would put them. And I've gone on to help a lot of other people with that exact same system. But look at this guy. This is 14 months later after he starts using these patches. That hair color is his natural hair color returning. He did not have Botox or plastic surgery. He's basically wearing a combination of phototherapy patches. The most remarkable thing for him was he didn't feel anything for like 5 months. And he kept saying to his wife, I don't think these things are working. I don't know. I keep reading and they say all these great things, but I'm not feeling it. But guess what? He had a really big problem. He had a right branch blockage in his heart, and it was working to repair that. So just keep in mind, if you don't feel something right away, there might be a really good reason. Your body is fixing something monumental that could have taken him out. His cardiologist of 30 years couldn't believe it when he went back in for another cardiac workup, and that blockage was gone. He's never seen one of those go away. That is what we're talking about with regenerative medicine. Makes a really big difference. And look at this lady here, Mandy. She's from Australia. In the course of a year, she goes from looking like grandma to granddaughter. But we're not just talking about pretty hair and skin. We're talking things under the skin that are hard to see. This is an MRI here showing bulging discs. And this is a degenerative spinal cord. So where you see indentations on the left, that is that term bone on bone. That's pain. Ouch. The bulging disc itself is hard to see. It's that black nodule down there between the C7 and the T1. That is putting pain into that spinal cord. But look at that on the right. That's the same patient a few months later utilizing patches. And curvature of the spine has the ability to realign. This young lady here was 4 weeks and her spine elongated and straightened out. Pretty amazing, but she used a combination of an ice wave pain blocker. That was my husband's go-to. That made him the believer. And then the X39, the repair cell patch. Skin repair, we see, oh my gosh, so many amazing things. I'm one of them. Whether you're talking the turkey neck with the loose skin because you've lost that tightening, that hyaluronic acid, that can come back along with the collagen. Varicose veins, we can bring that collagen back. Of course, the veins are still there, but the collagen fills in and you don't necessarily see those. I just, every time I see this guy with the birthmark, I just can't imagine what a difference in his life to now not have that be his signature. He's got a beautiful clear skin. Cystic acne, that was hormonal. That was me for many, many years. And that's why my menopause was so awful. I had a hormone imbalance and a thyroid condition. My thyroid regenerated in 4.5 months and I got off levothyroxine. But for this young lady's acne, it went away in 6 weeks because her hormones balanced. We say that these are better than Botox because we are not putting anything in the body, nothing synthetic, foreign, but you can place these patches wherever you need a boost, a lift. Pretty fantastic. Look at this décolleté of this lady. Now, I was on the verge of her. I wasn't quite that bad, but I would say it was probably about the March 22 version there. But she wanted to get married and her friend gave her these patches. She wanted to wear a strapless gown and look at that 6 months later. She is a different person. Hair regrowth, we see that usually around week 5, week 6 for a lot of people. Some people can take a little longer. If you have like alopecia or something, sometimes there's a little more of a delay as if it's requiring hormone balancing and stuff. Age reversal. I need probably not say a whole lot on these ladies on the left side. Do you think they want their money back? I think not. Autoimmune skin conditions. I love that we are not just addressing the surface. We are addressing the root cause. These things are coming out through the skin because there's an imbalance at the root level. And this fellow on the bottom had fast-growing cells of the skin for 15 years. This is a friend of our friend Cammie. His name's Roger. He had had 20 surgeries where they cut on him. They kept giving him topical creams that made him bleed and crack and hurt. In under 2 months, when Cammy gave him the patches, look at this on the right. This was just last summer. It's all beautifully under control. I don't believe he's going to have many more of those problems in his future if he keeps using these. That is a game changer. That's a life change. I love that these aren't just for us humans. These are also for our fur babies. And this is my girlfriend Terry, her 14-year-old black lab, Brutus. I told her, Terry, don't throw away your used patches. Put him on Brutus's bed. Let him sleep on him for 12 hours or tape him on the inside of his collar because I know this dog, he has had terrible arthritis. He was in pain. He didn't walk much. He just laid on his bed in misery. And I said, I even heard of a blind dog in Japan that saw again. Lo and behold, I didn't know this would happen. But that's a week later. Look at that beautiful brown eye with the pupil. But they've been using these for racehorses for years. You have a very expensive horse with a torn ligament or tendon. Rather than put them out to pasture, the horse trainers started using their own patches on them. They've actually developed patches called AccuLife just for animals. But I've heard of people using them on birds, cats, dogs, just doesn't matter. And I'm going to stop sharing now because this is my favorite time of the night. And we're going to have Joy unmute herself, and she is going to tell you a little bit about her experience with these. She's had many different things happen over the last couple years.
I have. Thank you, Tracy. And I'm so grateful for Tracy because she's actually the person who introduced me to these patches. She gave them to me, literally. And it took her 6 weeks to get me to try them because, I needed to understand the science behind them. And so she was feeding me testimonies and she was holding me hostage as she took me places in the vehicle because I couldn't drive at that time. I'd suffered a traumatic brain injury 2016, New Year's Eve 2016. And was unable to drive, look at electronics bigger than my phone, work. I had major sensory overwhelm and sensory hangovers. And I had done rehab and multiple other traditional and non-traditional modalities. And I still was struggling a lot and wasn't able to go into public very much. And I just would end up in bed a lot. Anyway, so Tracy introduced me to the patches and took her holding me hostage in her car while she's listening to podcasts about and testimonials about these patches to get me to use them so that I could understand. And I was listening with her one night on my way home from a evaluation at a new traumatic brain injury clinic. And there was this lady talking about her dad who had Alzheimer's. And after a while of using them, he was able to know her name and he was able to start doing activities of daily living. And eventually he had a new brain scan and there was no sign he'd ever had Alzheimer's. And I was like, Tracy, I'm going to start using these patches tomorrow. And so the next morning I put a patch on and I had woke up with a terrible sensory hangover. I felt like I had gone on a bender with alcohol without any alcohol. I had a terrible headache and brain fog and body aches and felt nauseous, and my pain level was at a 7. And I put the patch on and 45 minutes later, my pain level was at a 3. And I was like, oh my goodness, these patches work. And that night I was able to go out to dinner with Tracy and her family. It was her son Nick's birthday. It was March 8th, 2022. And then I've been able to do everything since. It gave me back full functionality. I mean, within a week and a half, I was able to drive for the first time. And within a month and a half, I was driving from Puget Sound, where we both lived, to Oregon and with a friend who picked me up. And I was able to drive the whole way and knew I could buy a car and drive it home. And so I did. And since then, I have, let's see, I wrote myself a little list because there's so many things. I've had asthma my whole life. And I was using essential oils to control it because I graduated to that after my brain injury, trying to go as organic and chemical free as possible. And now I don't have to use anything because I don't have any issues. It's gone, completely gone. I haven't had any issues. I can't even remember the last time. I also the first, right after I started using them, one of the symptoms of my brain injury was I needed 9 or 10 hours of sleep in order to function at all on any level. And if I didn't get those 9 or 10 hours of sleep, I just couldn't even get out of bed. And I was waking up after 7 hours sleep with no alarm, feeling energized and ready to go. And that was major. And now, another thing that's happened is I have had interstitial cystitis since I was 28. And that is holes in the lining of your bladder, the liner of your bladder. And makes you feel like you have urinary tract infection or something like that. And I had done multiple different traditional and non-traditional modalities to actually not have those symptoms. And I now don't have to do anything for that either. And I don't have problems with that. And I'm only getting up maybe once a night and I'm sleeping through the night. And I used to get up 3 or 4 times a night to go to the bathroom. I also don't have to drink as much water. I was a massive water drinker, Tracy can tell you. It's important with these patches that we drink enough water, and that's half your body weight in ounces of water, but I would drink a gallon or 2 a day because I needed to do that for my bladder to feel good and not be hurting. And I don't have to do that anymore. I also, let's see, I went and had all of the metal taken out of my mouth and replaced with composite fillings. And I did not have any anesthesia during it. No
Novocaine.
anesthesia during it. I used patches in a certain way to have, to not have the pain. And then I also at the same time had a crown put on and used the patches and didn't have any anesthesia. I also, let's see, my hair, I've had people start telling me that my hair is now coming back to its regular color. So I have less gray than I had before. And my skin is like, getting younger and I glow more and people tell me my skin is so soft all the time. There's been just a plethora of different things. And most recently, 16 days ago, I fell down a flight of concrete stairs. And actually, was super grateful that I, banged myself up, kind of torqued my body and sprained my ankle pretty bad. And actually, do I have availability to share screen, Trace?
Yeah, you do.
Okay. So I'm going to share my screen here because I have pictures of what it looked like to begin with. It's kind of a little bit blurry, but you can see my right ankle, how swollen it is.
Ow.
Okay. And this is right after. And I took a piece of my toenail off my left toe as well as a piece of flesh. Okay. The whole quarter of it was missing when I fell down the stairs. And then with patches and different things, let's see if I can figure out how to switch it to the next picture. I'm not quite sure how to do this. Oh, there's my arrow. I lost my arrow. Okay. And then this was yesterday. So you can see the difference where, I wasn't able to put any weight on my ankle. I wasn't able to put any weight on my body, period. I was using a wheelchair or like scooching around because my shoulder was all messed up from the fall and twisting. And so the crutches, I couldn't use the crutches and both feet were messed up. And then yesterday, I was able to walk down 3 flights of stairs outside, go to the garden and work in the garden some, and walk up the other side with no crutches, no nothing. I'm wearing a splint on my ankle when I'm outside. But other than that, I am good. So anyway, I am super excited because it has been super fast healing. I don't know if you could see also the wounds and how fast they had healed. And now they are just like, you know, scars that are healing quickly. So I'm super excited about that. So you might be wondering, how can I get these wonderful patches? But before we go into that, if you are new here, please put your name in the chat and who invited you. Also, I've dropped some different flyers in the chat, an order form, what to expect from the patches. Also, just a little flyer on different things each patch can do. And then also, very important, a tracker, so that, because as humans, we forget. We totally forget. We forget how far we've come, what we had to happening to begin with. Sometimes we will focus on one thing that we want the patches to do, and we won't realize all of the other things the patches are doing for us in the meantime. I know that was true for Tracey, and she had somebody ask her 9 months after she was wearing the patches about her bunions, whether they could help bunions. And she looks at her feet and she sees one foot that she had surgery on a couple years before, and both of her feet had the same bunions. She had to choose which one to have the surgery on first, and because they were both the same. And she swore after she had the first bunion surgery, she wasn't going to do it again because it was so painful and so hard to heal. And then 9 months after she started wearing the patches, somebody's like, well, can these help with bunions? And she's like, wait, just a minute. She takes her shoes off, looks at her feet, and her bunion's gone. She didn't notice. It just happened. So very, very important. Fill out the tracker, take pictures, write down any, pharmaceuticals or other medical things, write down any sleep, whatever, everything on there, so that you have like a space where you know where you started, and then you can see your progress as you go. And also, it's great to get blood work and other things, because people have amazing results that they don't necessarily feel, but it's happening in their body. So how do you get these? What do you do? Get back to the person who invited you and talk to them. And then we are actually going to answer some questions after we're done here today, if you have them. So we've been talking primarily about the X39 patch, and that is the one that actually creates GHK copper peptide in our body, signals our body to create GHK copper peptide. And GHK copper peptide, Dr. Lauren Picard, his studies show actually wakens up our body's pluripotent stem cells and puts them back to work. X49 actually helps with bone density. It helps with turning fat to muscle faster. It helps with metabolism. It helps with organ function, and it helps with EMF protection in today's world. These patches, the X patches is what I call them, they retail for $149.95 for a 30-day supply. But we don't like to get them for you that way. We prefer like going to Costco to get like the wholesale price of $99.95 for a 30-day supply. And all of these patches, they have a 30-day money-back guarantee from the initial order. Next slide, please. So here are some supportive patches. We actually tell people that starting with X39 and Eon is the best combination synergistically to work together in your body. Eon actually helps lower inflammation in your body. And when you lower inflammation in your body, stem cells can go directly to work on repair instead of trying to lower the inflammation themselves, because they get eaten by inflammation. And so it's really important to have, if you want the maximum amount of healing and repair the fastest, to actually use those two patches together. If you have a significant pain, you might want to use the Ice Wave. It's a pain blocker. 2-patch system, so it's a 30 patches in a packet, but a 15-time use supply. And it's 2 patches. Very important, a white patch and a tan patch. And all it does is it interrupts the pain signal and allows your body to actually focus then, instead of on the pain, on repair. Alavida, actually, I think this is Tracey's favorite patch. Helps elevate the collagen in your body. It helps decalcify your pineal gland so that you're able to actually think and have better cognition. It helps support ligaments and tendons. I've actually at night been using, I use it every night on my my third eye, which helps decalcify your pineal gland, and it also helps with sleep, helps give waking dreams where you can have really vibrant dreams, which for a while I had to wear it on my temple because it was too much for me. But then I've also been using old patches and putting them on my ankle and my foot. So I've been wearing 3 or 4 Alavita patches at a time because I want to have the ligaments and tendons healing faster, as fast as they possibly can right now, because I wanted to get literally back on my feet as soon as possible lately. They also are an amazing thing that lengthens telomeres, which are like the aglets on the bottom of your shoelace, but they're for the DNA. And there's a direct correlation between the length of your telomeres, your health and wellness, quality of life, and your longevity. So it's an amazing thing that it can lengthen telomeres and completely helps with health and wellness. These retail at $79.95 for a 30-day supply. But again, we like to help you get them wholesale for $49.95 each. Next slide, please. Here's a whole bunch of other patches that are available, as well as creams and different things. And you can see more about those in the flyer, but we're talking about the wholesale pack that we prefer people to get, or we recommend people get, because we like to save people money and we're a little thrifty. And the core pack is available for $2.95. That's great for an individual. The advanced pack is great for a couple or 2 people for $5.35. And then there's the premium pack that if you have a practice, or you have, if you're an esthetician, if you have different things and you want to retail them or sell them, or you have a big family, it's available for $17.50. And then we highly, highly recommend that you get set up on a monthly subscription order, because I don't know if you're like me, but I forget when a month has gone by. I have like my bills set up on automatic bill pay, and I want to be making sure for consistency that I'm not without my patches, because I actually feel the difference when I don't wear my patches. I have less energy, I'm more tired, and just have a harder time functioning. And in order to have the best things happening with these patches, it's really important to have consistency. So next slide, please.
It's a cumulative effect. They keep
It is a
building on each other.
cumulative, yes. So LifeWave has actually just came out with Celergize.
Oh, actually, I got the promo up there, Joy. Sorry.
Okay. So they have a promo going on right now with X39 and X49 for $179.99. You can buy those together. That's a fantastic, phenomenal price, and it's probably the almost absolute best pricing you can get those for. And then right now you get a free Eon pack free if you buy that bundle. So anyway, that's under promotions when you go to shop. If you've never shopped before, please get back to the person who has invited you so that you can get signed up. And Celergize just came out. It actually is all of the nutrients and minerals that your body needs to the materials to make healthy cells during the day with the day patches. So David Schmidt has made it super easy for us to get the materials needed. The way I like to liken it is the patch is a blueprint, signaling the body what to do and how to do it. And we are the contractor, and it's our job to put the materials in our body. So if we use the Celergize, we will have the vitamins and minerals that we need for the daytime patches. And also, we need to drink enough water. So half our body weight in ounces of water per day. That's our job as the contractor. We can't be mad at the blueprint if we're not taking care and putting the materials in our body to actually create cells and have movement. I'm super excited because they actually, he's invented a new type of water. and it's light infused. There has been amazing results with people having fast repair in multitude of different ways in drinking this water. And so I'm super excited that it's going to be coming out here, I believe in August. Stay tuned. So every Monday and Tuesday night, Tracey, Cammie, and I, you can find us here talking to you about the patches. We do an intro on Monday and Tuesdays. And then on Tuesday nights, we do a deep dive afterwards on some other health related issue that we choose.
And
So
tomorrow night, I'm doing it on Energy Enhancer, the very first patch that David ever created. And it is an amazing patch. So
yeah, super excited to hear it. And you know what, the amazing thing is we learn as we're getting ready for you guys, and it's so much fun to actually deep dive in ourselves to find out more information and then be able to share it with all of you. Every Wednesday night, Marcy actually at 4 p.m. Pacific time does another podcast as well, and there's a link on here for that as well. Next slide, please. Oh, and also we have a new website, www.harmonypatching.com, that we highly recommend that you go and peruse and look at. You can put testimonials on there. There's a space for that. There's also different areas as far as like there's a page that you can look up for different patching information for where to patch for each patch. And there's videos attached. There's all kinds of information on there. And Tracey has done a wonderful job with that. So what do you do next? How do you get these?
That harmony,
Get back to the person?
that,
Get back.
that harmony patching doesn't work.com.
Okay. Well, we'll look into that. Tracey?
okay.
Okay.
See.
Thank you for that. Okay. So, again, get back to the person who invited you. We recommend the X39 and Eon, and also whatever other supportive patches. You know, just to begin with, though, the X39 and the Eon don't overwhelm your body with too many different things, because you could have detoxification effects from that, like Herxheimer's, and we don't want to overwhelm our bodies, so we recommend that you start slow. When Tracey and I first started these patches, we were like, here's all the patches, and people would end up with detoxing too fast, and their body would be like, oh, what are you doing to me? And then they'd be like, it just made me feel sick. It didn't make me feel good, because they'd have a headache, or they'd have, you know, body aches or different things like that from detoxing. So due to FDA regulations, LifeWave cannot market these and tell you all of the things that we've told you tonight. They can't tell you, like, they would help a traumatic brain injury. They can't tell you all of these different things, because they're classified as a wellness product. And so they actually rely on us to do testimonials.
Okay, you gotta move.
To share with you and
Yeah.
Sorry, Joy. I muted you accidentally.
That's okay. I'm back. Okay, so they rely on us to tell you our testimonials and what these can do for you, and actually to help walk you through different things, and give you education and help you with whatever it is that you need. And I honestly, I feel a social responsibility to share, because of the life-changing things that have happened to me, because I have full functionality back. I'm able to do all of the things, and I'm so grateful Tracey didn't give up on me. Next slide, please. So you have to decide, what is your dream? What kind of quality of life do you want to have? How much longevity do you want to have? And what does it look like? So I know I want to have quality of life. And I know that I'm getting younger each day because of the patches, and because of harnessing the light in my body and having it used so that it can regenerate my body. Okay, so now it's open to any questions. If anybody has any questions, that would be great. If anybody has not put their name in the chat.
I have got Barbara, Marlo, and Victoria. I have their names right here on these little piece of paper. I'm gonna mix them all up, and we're gonna see who's the winner. And you're getting X39 patches from our friend Marcy and Jan. And our winner is Victoria. Congratulations. So if you could please email Jan J Rand, R-A-N-D, at gmail.com and let her know that you were the winner on Harmony Patching Monday night. Give her your address and they will get them in the mail to you. It takes about somewhere around 30 days. They travel a lot lately, so just be a little patient and they'll get you those patches. So congratulations on winning.
Thank you. Wow. That's great.
Oh, yeah, very cool. Well, we always love to answer questions because we know this is foreign, right? Joy and I didn't have this when we got started. We just were kind of the blind leading the blind. And
We just were like, here's the patches, guys. They work great. They
oh, I
helped us.
see. Shigemi has raised her hand.
Yeah, I have. I know we don't diagnose. Hi, thank you, Tracy and Joy. Such an awesome presentation always. I know I realize we don't diagnose and treat and cure, but I
Oh.
was curious about varicose
Tracy,
veins.
can you stop the
You know what?
recording?
I should actually, I forgot to stop the recording.
Sorry.
We usually stop the
My
recording, but
apologies,
thank you
Shigemi.
all for being here tonight. And reminder, tomorrow night, 6 o'clock intro, 6:30-ish will be our deep dive on energy enhancer. That is mitochondria energy. That is burning fat for fuel. And you're going to want to hear about that. So thanks again for being with us. Have a great night.